It's Brendan from techbuzzireland. Today we have the Sony WF C700N, normally earbuds. And one question people often ask is within Sony, the quality, the background, history and that. And I have to say I'm slightly biased towards the Sony products, and as such, the bar is actually far higher than I would expect from a normal one. And people say different comments. One thing to keep, are they on the top of the game as they used to be? They have reported revenue of exceeding 1 billion annually on their headphones division, earphones and headphones division. In essence, the answer to that question, they're still up in their game. They're still well able to manufacture and keeping up with current trends, etc. And this is another example. First thing in this particular box, obviously, I'm just going down to 7.5 hours plus 7.5 hours on when you use the case. It's got the noise cancelling. It's got the IPX 4 on this particular one also, which is quite good. It means it's splash proof, so if you're in the gym, for example, you shouldn't have any problems there, but certainly not for going underwater or anything else. You go for a higher rating there. The 360 reality auto is something you might have seen in their phones also. They have I suppose a spatial awareness for their audio listening, etc. on that. One other thing I suppose straight away on these particular units that you would expect from Sony is the packaging itself. It's all the recyclable, etc. Might sound a small thing there, but the whole essence of what they're doing comes out. This particular model is got for the iPhone and an iPod and the Android, which is actually quite good to actually show the Android, because sometimes you see something made for iPhone, for example, but it doesn't think. This one has been used on both while we've been testing it. It is multi-mode, so it gives you loads more options, etc. on that. Packaging's given things, so packaging is quite nice, and I suppose what you actually get with it there as well, quite good. You get a USB-C cable. Everything should come USB, a standardized approach, and it's good to see even the major manufacturers are not going down on their own tangent doing that. Different earbuds that you can actually change for the size, and these come in a nice little box. And obviously you get the case itself. When you have the unit itself, these are the earbuds. Taking them out, normal enough. Light comes on and it goes green when it's charging, so you can actually see it charging. Put a little bit of perspective in size-wise. It's a €1 coin, and the first thing observation you'll notice straight away on opening the box, before you even do anything at all to even look at the unit, it'll come up that the unit itself is actually, I won't say plastically the material itself, but it's there. But the weight of the whole case, and these are 4.6 grams each, is very, very light. And you might say, oh, what have they lost when they're kind of gone down? So when you're trying to tip them out, now I don't know if you noticed that there, I just dropped it in and it actually, the magnet pulled it in, so it's fairly strong, it's holding it fairly well. I'm not going to fall out. The case does its job perfect, and it's got the USB and a reset button here as well. So as far as the buttons comes out, it's quite good and standard enough in there. It is good in the sense of there. Then I suppose from the Sony's experience, it is quite good, comes with a box. And obviously you can just connect them up with your normal Bluetooth and you can use them. But having a good pair of earphones and having them there at the moment without doing the full functionalities of it, maybe I suppose a slight waste of them there at the moment, is because it do have the noise cancelling. You can make calls there at the moment. They say they're comfortable design, etc. What I will going to on the thing is probably more importantly is when you get into the app itself, and that's because one of the extra features, but they make life quite easily for that particular purpose, because when you use a QR code scanner, it comes with a little thing there. So instead of trying to remember, when it comes up to trying to remember what app to use, and I know it's on the instructions in the manual, you've got the details. Now we'll just go to English, and it's got the app and it's got the details that you can actually down. You can have a printable PDF of the thing. I'm not sure if anybody would download the app, and the app itself is a Headphone Connect, and it gives you the idea. And this is basically your quick idea how to actually set it up, your Bluetooth, etc., and the operations. Quite good as well. In here, sometimes you decide, I am now listening to the earphones itself. How do I for me, I've changed and chop and change lots of different phones. And is it one press? Is it two presses? Is it three presses to do that? To play the music, press 1. To skip, 2 deeps, 3. These are all there to use cancelling. And this is all the information is quite handy here at the moment, which is quite good, rather than trying to remember on those details. This is where I suppose Sony comes out on its own, as in, first thing you notice is this is the app itself. It's got all the features you would expect, etc. So I've used these, probably flattened the battery 3 or 4 times already, just by using in the background itself. Interesting when one is only 100, and I put it on charge. Deliberately, before I started here, I flattened these on use and then just put it on charge for about 10 minutes, and as the case is showing me 20%. Interesting, it's gone back up to 100%. I don't believe this particular reading on the right earphones, but it was only on charge less than 10 minutes before I started this today. It's got all the features that you would expect here at the moment. It's got the status, and it's got particular song or music you're playing at the moment, and obviously the batteries on the right. Go into the sound here at the moment, and it's the noise cancelling, and we can turn it off. What I do like about here is when I can put it in my ear, I can analyze my ear. So this is a matter of going through it, next. It'll allow it. Welcome to Reality 360 is a completely different app. It is set up on this particular phone, and you can just gives the audio in the background that you can see is slightly different, really immersive, that is different, that you wouldn't expect from, say, alone. Just go back out of this. This has already been set up. Bluetooth connection priorities there at the moment, so you can have different IDs. The DSE I've turned off at the moment, but you can turn that on for different audio quality, etc. in there. One of the things I really do like on any earphones, and I've said this on many occasions, is I normally have 2 phones that carry typically, often it's an iPhone, often it's an Android, depending on what situation, and sometimes to a laptop. I can actually turn this feature off and on, so I can connect my 2 devices or not, as the case may be, and that's quite good to be able to do that. It just means that if I receive a call coming through, it stops over, and then I can go down to automatic power off and notice voice gauge. Notifications and voice guide. Typically what you'll normally do is you'll get the when you put it into your ear, it'll just go beep to say it's coming. When it goes low battery, it'll come up to say low battery, so it gives you an idea of what you're actually what's going on in the background. And obviously a lot of these sounds you can actually change them yourself. You can configure it to what you want. You can confirm the different areas on that. Just going over to activity. One strange thing on these as well is what you do is, as part of the original paperwork, don't forget to register your device, and then you create your register. Then you also got a 360 app you've got to download and you've got to connect to. Then you've got to go into this particular app and connect it as well. So there's an awful lot of additional areas that you are not synchronized in one particular place, which can be slightly frustrating. Activity, it should go in. If you're really into statistics and all that, there is actually an activity log here at the moment, and it'll show you total time used. This is not actually right in the sense that I've actually logged out of the account and I reset it. So I've gone back in, and I've only started this back up today to give it an idea there. But you can have the activity, and it shows badges for different things you're doing. So it's basically the different stages you do, and the more you listen to it, the more options you can. You can actually convert it to the different styles, which is actually quite good. And again, it's got the tutorial, it's got the 360 audio setting up there as well, and it's got badges for certain things you do. Within the menu, the first thing I'd probably notice was the updated version itself. That was probably one of the first things I did. Typically that's always good practice to kind of go in there, and it can give you some tips as well to say you record scenes, etc. And that's kind of about this app. And to put things into perspective, I suppose from the Sony's perspective, reference to Sony software itself, this particular app has over 10 million downloads, with a score of 4.1 out of 5, and that's out of 229,000 reviews, as such, comments to say. And the presets allow you to match your sound quality, which genre you're talking about, or create and save your own presets using the countdown and the details. And this is where you're gaining. This particular earphones, or would be, I suppose, more in the budget range itself. But you're getting all the software from the top of the range expensive kit itself, which is actually quite good because it allows them to use the same details, and obviously any bugs, problems, features. The one big benefit of these over many other brands is the idea that as the software changes, as Bluetooth changes, Sony as a company, they will always be updating, always innovation, and they'll always keep them up to date, and it's very good. A couple of niggles from my point of view is, while all this is really, really good, it gives information to say is, don't forget to register your purchase online, and Sony's guarantee. If you do most products, you do a Google search or you do any kind of a search and ask you what's the warranty on these particular items. For most manufacturers, they'll tell you it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, as the case may be. For some reason, looking on the manufacturer's websites on this particular brand, they seem to hide it. It's not actually shown visibly. And the reason that is probably it's different markets, whereas the other brands. So it's very difficult. This one comes with a 1-year warranty. I prefer to see more, obviously. I'd like to see a 2 or 3 year warranty, especially from this particular brand of products. But again, that's a slightly annoying to me, that this particular part there. When I got the unit originally first, before I did the software upgrade and I took it out of the phone, it seemed to be a second before it connected to my phone. Once I did the app itself, it connected an awful lot faster. So basically I normally take it out, put it in my ear, and I take a call very quickly. That is something that I've noticed was a bit slower until I did the software upgrade. The other little niggle for me is on this particular one is the wind. When I'm out actually walking there at the moment, I take a chance to listen to music, or I actually make a lot of calls. Often people can actually mention the wind noise in the background can be annoying in the background. As far as listening to the music itself, it has all the features about the double tap, single taps there at the moment. When listening to the music as you would normally do, it does have all the features that regarding different presses. So when you press it, you can press pause, you can skip to the next track, you can skip to the beginning of the track, and you can increase the volume. And it gives you these details. So you've got the full control that you would expect from the units, and it'll kind of go. This is actually within the unit. I'd normally prefer to be on the Spotify equivalent or whatever your music channels is. This is just give you an idea of what you can actually do with the unit itself. A lot of things are really positive on this, and I suppose if somebody says to me what's my key like from this particular model here at the moment, is two particular parts. One is the weight of these, really, really light. I'm very impressed with the weight. Case, my gut feeling when I got out of it first was plastic. I wasn't as comfortable with the case itself, but then I realised the weight of it, the plasticky type thing there. From the brand itself, I know the software is going to be getting, and I've used this on a variety of different phones, and I've done a lot of different areas with it there. It just connects. I do expect this will connect in 6 months' time, in a year's time, and when I change my phone and I updated my software on my phone, Sony will be able to give me those details from the software, and that's a real positive that I would always be aware of, etc. The app itself, great reviews, I can't fault it. You have all the features from the terms of the normal basic features you'd expect there. And thank you for watching Tech Buzz Ireland. The Sony WF C700N, and again it's compatible with the iPhone and Android, which is a real positive, and the multi-mode. Thank you for watching Tech Buzz Ireland.